I think the straw poll is set right now. Alright. So, everyone, this is Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime, as I said a bit earlier. This is the second game in the Slime Mori Mori series. The first one and the third one were never localized. I actually own the third one, but sadly I haven't really played it too much. It looks like the name for Straw Poll is going to be CT Slime by 1 vote. So, yeah, whenever we're ready, you'll start the timer. As soon as I confirm here, we'll start the timer. So I'll give a countdown for that. 3, 2. Actually, hold on one sec. I gotta set one last thing. Alright, so I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1, start. Anyways, so we wake up in the town of Boingburg, which is ruled by His Royal Wobbliness. If you haven't noticed, this game has no human characters, interestingly enough. It's one of the few non-RPG Dragon Quest games. And so we're introduced to our friends here, Huli, Swatsy, and Rocket, the main character. I'll call him CT Slime. His sister, I missed a trick. And we're playing a game to win the Warrior Flute, where I have to clear these leaves in about under 60 seconds, but it's super easy.
Hi there.
So, did that in about 6 seconds. You can actually, if you time it frame perfectly, press start and B at the same time. And skip, like, the little cutscene. You're able to clear the leaves. Sorry, I was supposed to be pressing A there. I mainly mashed the A button, or the B button in this game. So, as soon as we blow the Warrior Flute, our dad starts coming, and Huli thinks to hide it inside of Rocket, or CT Slime. And so now we look like a baseball bat, which is pretty amusing. This game is loaded with all sorts of puns and just silliness in general. Which is part of the reason why I play it on the English version. Like, I own the Japanese version of this game, but it's a little better to stream it, I think, on English because of all the jokes. And also there's a couple of enemies that telegraph what they're doing, so being able to read English helps. Anyways, so we're introduced to our main antagonists, the Plob or the Tails Brigade in the Japanese release, who come in with their giant tank and just demolish the town with their iron balls. And so, since we're outmatched, we basically just have to surrender, and they go and kidnap every slime in town. So basically, we kind of are off to a pretty rough start in this game. However, Rocket, on the other hand, I'm gonna keep calling him Rocket. I'll just call him CT Slime. CT Slime, on the other hand, was mistaken for a baseball bat, so they didn't capture him, and they threw him all the way to Forwood Forest, the first area of the game. And unfortunately, our Warrior Flute is broken. So throughout the game, there will be 100 slimes that are trapped in these treasure chests. I will save about 50 of them in order for the any percent category, in order to progress past a certain point in the game. The main method of transportation, but also all sorts of things, is the Elastoblast, which you see me just kind of bouncing around by sliding my face. A lot of people seem to ask this, but it's not controlled by the touchscreen. You hold down A and release it in sort of a rhythmic motion. Takes a little getting used to, but it's really not that bad. We're introduced to a couple of the more comic relief characters, Babbo and Wise Guy, members of the...
Okay, so now that we're started here, you want to explain some of the core gameplay mechanic? You want to explain some of the...
Yeah, this is a bit of a top-down adventure game. The main mechanic is basically just grabbing things on our head and throwing them. There'll be one other main mechanic, which is the tank battles, but that won't be for about 20 minutes into the run.
Okay, so I know my game was probably the most random.
So I know my game was probably the most random of the entire.
So I'm going to be collecting these chests because I fuse them into important ammo later on in the game. It sounds like you're echoing, Luke. Alright. Actually, I think it might be... Hold on. Okay, so we just finished the first day of the game, saved 3 slimes, collected a couple of treasure chests. So we wake up back in our hometown, ready to go again. Most everything will get transported on those little mine carts back to town. Yes, it is a nun slime, actually. She's the person, or the slime, who you talk to in order to save your game. And throughout the town is these iron balls that have a number of ST on them, which stands for slime tons, or about the lifting capacity of 1 slime. And so for each one you save, for the number of slimes that you save, you can get rid of the iron balls around town, and those get you into certain areas. Like this one gets me into the church, which is where I go to save. There's also an item shop, a well, and a few other places. I'm not actually going to be doing a whole lot with them though, but I need to move the 50 slime ton iron ball at some point for the story. Yes, this game does have the overture. I'll also hear a lot of the overture in the final battle. So the main method of movement is elastoblasting. It's faster than just running around normally, and I think saves about 15 to 20 minutes across the entire run. Oops. So I want to grab this rock bomb here in order to destroy the rock barrier over here and get this guy. I also notice a lot of the sound effects when you save slimes and just do anything in this game are just hilarious. It's a very light-hearted adventure type game. Oops. So ordinarily I'd be moving those chests, but I need 2 rock bombs in order to blast through 2 rock barriers over this way. And you'll notice I'm carrying things on my head. I'll be taking those back to town, basically. It's not really weak. I don't know. So I'm taking a bit of a detour from the first boss in order to save these 3 slimes here. I'll also take this rock bomb because rock bombs are very powerful bits of ammo for this early on in the game. I missed it. I'm going to be trying to collect as many chests as possible for the Chimera Wing. For the shurikens, which I'll fuse with Chimera Wings later on in the game. So we're introduced to the first boss of this game, which is Bow Beater. He's actually extremely easy, and I'm hoping to get the quick kill before he attacks. So yeah, unlike most other Dragon Quest games, this is a top-down adventure more akin to a Zelda game. Oh shoot, I don't think I'm gonna get the quick kill. There we go. And so in this chest is his royal wobbliness, the king of Boingburg. Unfortunately, right about this time, the Plob, or Platypunk mob, comes in with their giant tank in order to try and scare us away. So we have to make a mad dash for town while avoiding rock bombs that are being fired at us. Oops, I let go a little too late. Thankfully the king will just kind of default back onto us. Ah, we were 2 yards away. So now that we've saved a few slimes, we're going to go talk to his royal wobbliness, and he's going to tell us of the next area that we're going to go to, which is the Tomb of Toot and Slamman, which is sort of a deserty area with a mysterious structure in the middle. The first thing he gives us is an Yggdrasil seed. Yggdrasil seeds will increase my max health by 1 heart. Unlike Zelda, it's done in half hearts and whole hearts, pretty much. I will not be collecting any of them that are optional because there's a cutscene that plays every time I grab one, and health is really not that important in this game. So we chuck these bombshells into these cannons in order to destroy these sand platypunk structures, or momojas. That's true. The old Zeldas did run off of half hearts. Another little mechanic to kind of note with this game is if I carry anything into a cutscene, it automatically gets sent back home. So the 2 slimes that were on my head got sent back to Boingburg, and I didn't have to worry about chucking them onto the rafts in this area, which work like the carts in any other area. So I want to grab this bombshell because I need 2 of them, and I don't want to wait for the second one to spawn later. Also grab a couple more chests. A unique mechanic to Toot and Slamman's tomb is the fact that the carts can actually be destroyed. The carts send things back to town. So I want to look out and not end up accidentally hitting one of them. Well, this is awkward. So I want to clear this path for the cannon first. Then move the cannon so I can destroy the sand structure. Whoops. My gameplay's a little sloppy right now. So I'll grab this second bombshell and then move this way. I will not be collecting enemies in this game. You can actually send enemies to town as well, and once you've sent 30 of them to town, they can be recruitable tank crew members. Yeah, this game's a lot of fun. It's just kind of a charming, simple adventure game. There's not a whole lot like it, especially not in the Dragon Quest series. And so we're blowing the warrior flute, and that triggers a reaction here. I've also neglected to introduce this little character, the platypunk with the glasses. This is Dr. Sid, because, you know, it's a Square Enix game, so it needs to have a Sid. And like Final Fantasy games, he's one of our, he's kind of like a tech crew member. And this is the Slamman tank. One of the core mechanics to this game involves using it to fight against other tanks. And so Sid is astounded by it, and then all of a sudden he receives a letter from the Plob Father, or the godfather of the Plob, and finds out that he's just been fired. With nowhere else to turn, he asks us to let him join us. And begins inspecting the tank like a little child in a candy store. So this is the first... Technically, it's not really a battle because what we're fighting against is not actually going to fire back at us. But we have these 2 cannons that we can fire out of, and our goal is to destroy this boulder, which has 50 health. The little rocks that we have only have, or destroy this mountain, I should say. These deal 3 damage. We also have a few bombshells in the default ammo that deal 8 damage, so good RNG would mean that I get more bombshells than boulders. So the bombshells do 8, boulders do 3, so... I'm trying to... Okay, I have enough right here to kill the boulder, or the mountain. So I'm just gonna wait here. It's a little faster to actually fire out of the bottom cannon than it is to fire out of the top cannon. Alright, so we return to town after a hard day's work. Yes, this game owns. I love this game. I was so sad when I saw that nobody else had speedrun this game for a while, and decided to try my hand at routing this game myself. So most of the routing work I did. A few little tricks were found in an SDA thread, or a few little things originated in an SDA thread. So the first thing I'm gonna do on this day before I go anywhere is this little mini game that this shell slime gives us. I don't know how many slime. I think the Slime King can only carry 1 slime ton, despite his size. So we're gonna do a little surfing mini game. I need to get 1,800 coins in order to break the record, and breaking the record on this will get me an orichalcum. The reason I want to get an orichalcum right now is because it is by far the strongest piece of ammo available this early on in the game, and so it can even though this minigame takes about 75 seconds out of my time, it can potentially save minutes over the course of a run, because it never leaves my tank once I get the orichalcum. I usually try and shoot for 2,000. Got it. New record. And so before we were even able to leave town, the platypunks are not very happy with what we've been doing, so they come and try and attack our town again. So now that we have something to fight back against them with, we're gonna fight against their first little tank. Which is actually a very easy fight. The Platypanzer here only fires out of its top cannon, so we don't have to worry too much about our ammo making contact with theirs, which kind of slows down tank fights. The third Slime Mori Mori game does a little change up, and instead of tanks, it's actually pirate ships, which I think is amazing, and that's why it's so disappointing to me that they never localized Slime Mori Mori 3. Oops. So at this point I have enough to finish him off. So I'm just gonna kind of wait in my tank. So now that we've finished off all the health, we're going to run straight towards his tank and blow it up from the inside. I'm gonna see if they have any rock bombs left around. This is what we're looking for. Rock bombs will destroy those barricades instantly as opposed to one at a time. So it's a little faster to grab one. It also, in that particular fight, skips a text box. Bullets crash into one another if they make contact in the air, and it's quite annoying. So now Sid is introducing us to his little office here, which we talk to him in order to upgrade our tank ammo. I'm gonna start off by just setting it to boulders because there's one little thing I have to do first. So I'm gonna go into my letters, which is in the start menu. And there are 4 slimes here that have given me something useful. Flantena, and then these 3 guys we saved back at Forwood Forest all give me an oaken club and 3 rock bombs respectively. So I'm gonna leave ammo to Sid because it's faster than just itself. So now we return to Toot and Slamman's tomb. I'm gonna grab this bombshell here because bombshells are still not that bad as ammo this early on in the game. So this Cactoball is kind of luring us on a wild goose chase. We're supposed to follow him in order to progress in this area. Okay, I want that bombshell, so I'm gonna knock that off, and then chuck these onto the minecart. So before progressing on a little bit, I'm gonna be grabbing this slime here, because I need to save 50, and I can save about 51 going through without having to backtrack to Forwood Forest. However, a couple of the other ones involve tank battles. I think it's actually 52. So I want to save every single one that I can find in a treasure chest lying around. It's just faster than doing tank battles, which each net me 1 slime that I send back home. So this introduces us to another mechanic in this rematch with Platypanzer. Enemy tanks will start having crew members, which also fire ammo, so that, like... Yeah, they'll start firing ammo at me, so I have a lot more to worry about in the skies. Thankfully this Orichalcum spawned, which is very helpful, because this thing is going to decimate his tank. And comically, it looks like the ammo he threw out made impact with one of his teammates, so he just ended up firing his own teammate after the cannon, which you can do. I mean, this game has a lot of silly shenanigans like that. Ah, that's not good. One of his ammo made contact with the Orichalcum, so this fight's gonna last a little longer. I think this should be enough. Fire this extra treasure chest just to make sure. So now I make a mad dash for his engine room because it's faster than just waiting for my ammo to make impact. Oh, I was one off. I underestimated it, or overestimated it. It's faster to walk it than to just than to just fire yourself out of a cannon, because you still have to like worry about things in the air, especially for these earlier fights where we don't just let our tank run out of health. So normally there's this barrier right here that keeps us from entering the tank. Once that is out, we don't have to worry about trying to break it in order to enter their tank. It can respawn. The ammo goes through sort of a cycle. I have 30 pieces of ammo and it will eventually get to all of them. But it takes a lot longer. Yeah, what Cruel said. The fight isn't long enough for it to really matter. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about RNG for too much longer. That was one of my big concerns coming into this game, was how bad is RNG going to be able to just destroy the run. And because later on in the game, my ammo is not good enough to really do a whole lot to the enemies, I just rob the enemy of their ammo to deal quick amounts of damage. You can actually leave your ammo in the tank and it will spawn again. So like you'll have 2 of a piece of ammo you only have 1 of, but usually if it's good enough you'd want to chuck it anyways. CT metal slime, guys. Actually, I don't think that's quite a metal slime, he's just gray, but still. Grab one last chest. I want to avoid that Yggdrasil seed because the cutscene for the health is a bigger time loss than... It's just not worth it to grab them. Oh shoot, I forgot the shortcut. Oh well. Just have to take an extra minute of backtracking then. So this tank battle is sort of a tutorial for invading, because the opponent's jail cat can come into my tank and try and break the tank. These like machines with the red and yellow lights, if you destroy those, your ammo comes out of the chutes on fire, meaning it'll hurt you if you try and pick it up for an interval of time. That said, he really is not a threat. And it's actually better that he's in my tank because he's not firing ammo at me. Okay, this is just what I want to see. So that finishes him off. I'm hoping the Orichalca makes contact this time. Oh wow. That's enough to actually finish him off. Yes, you can fire invaders out of your cannon. I was trying to do that, but I ended up just killing the cat, the jail cat. Our reward for this is an Oaken Club, which I'll happily add to my ammo, as well as a slime. So I want to talk to Curate Rolo here before I move on, because he gives me a Holy Water, which does 18 damage and is pretty good for this early on in the game. There sort of are metal slimes, but there's a ton of slimes in this game. So basically every kind of slime you've ever seen in like Dragon Quest Monsters, all of them are in this game. Rock slimes, red slimes, heal slimes. So this is Slime Mechanic. He actually will upgrade our tank's health, but we don't want that because we want our tank to have as low health as possible, and I'll explain why a little bit later. The closest thing to a quote-unquote metal slime in this game, other than the literal metal slimes, is the goodie bags. A few of them will spawn. I think they're called jewel bags in earlier games. A few of them spawn in a random spot in every area, so they're kind of for good luck. And if you collect 30 of them, you can get them to join your crew, and they're pretty much considered the best invading tank crew member, because they're hard to kill, they teleport into your tank, and they move extremely fast. It's not worth it to like grind for them in a speed run, but they're for like multiplayer or for casual purposes, they're probably the best crew member after Baron Blubba. So what I want to do here is I want to wait for this cannon to show up so I can go into this little cove over on the side here. And this is the one optional tank fight that I go out of my way to do because it's an extremely quick fight, and it gets me the 50th slime to move on in the story later on. Also, this guy is the reason I play on English. Tells me exactly what he's going to do. I don't have anything better than this. But he says he's going to fire out of the lower cannon, so I want to throw everything in the upper cannon to avoid making contact. With good RNG, this fight takes like a minute and a half or so. It's faster than the 3 minutes it would take to backtrack to Forwood, and it's also faster than either of the 2 optional tank battles in one. Alright, I hope that's enough. Yeah, one of the Orichalcum or the Holy Water will hit him. The other nice benefit of doing this fight for this slime is I also am able to get every single slime in Toot and Slamman's tomb. If you get every slime in an area, it gives you a little reward, which in this case it is a broadsword, which is about as good as an Orichalcum. Okay, I want this jail cat to get out of my way. Yeah, this game is adorable. So that destroys that barrier right there and allows me to get this guy. I'm skipping through the text so you can't quite see, but all the slimes have really cute name puns. Like this one is named Russell Sprout. This one's name is Startist. So I'm gonna go off here because there are 3 slimes that I can save. All located in this little alcove here. Yes, Chrono Twigger is the name of a tank in this game. There's also a tank named DQ Swords, and this came out before Dragon Quest Swords did, at least in the States. Of course, I'm not too sure about Japan. That's unfortunate. I got hit by a rock bomb in all this chaos. So I actually send these guys back to town because a couple of times I've encountered a glitch where they didn't get sent back to town when I went and entered the final tank battle of this area. So for safety reasons, I just go ahead and do that. It looks like one of them didn't end up on a cart. That's unfortunate. And I don't know where he went. Okay, there's a slime that's like missing here, and I don't know where it went. Oh, what? What the heck just happened? Oh my gosh. Either my game acted up and didn't know where the slime was and then just finally realized it was sent home, or something knocked it onto a cart off screen and I never saw it. Okay. So that guy on the tank steps is Slivel. He's a rival character in this game, and we'll see a lot more of him later, but just know that he is a super badass dude. His helmet weighs like 5 slime tons, and he wears it just because. So, unlike other fights, this one introduces us to not introduces, but this one is the first tank fight where it's actually better to just go and invade rather than to use my own ammo. It's also faster to just wait for his ammo to make contact with my tank because it fires extremely slowly and does a lot of damage. So after hitting this enough times, it opens up, and then I'll destroy that. I want you to finish my tank off. I'll destroy that, which will keep the doors open. Collecting 3 iron balls on my head will make it from level 1 to level 2. The level 2 iron balls do about twice as much damage. So ideally what I want to get out of this tank fight is I want to get 2 level 2 iron balls and 1 level 1 iron ball. So that's enough damage to finish my tank off. I just need to make off with what I want here. Alright, perfect. This fight also is another unfortunate case of RNG, where it's one of the very few fights in this entire game where the enemy will still fire ammo at me even when my tank is at 0 health. So I'm gonna wait for that bombshell to make contact. I'm gonna chuck all these and then throw everything that I picked up from his tank. The reason I let my tank run out of health is because they generally, except for like this fight, and even in this one, a couple of them leave, but they generally will head for my tank to try and finish me off rather than try and fire ammo at me, which means that the skies are basically clear for me to just throw everything at him. They do have the threat of destroying my engine, however, it takes a while for them to break most of the time, except Boss and Slivel. Okay, that was enough to just annihilate him. Thankfully, once his tank runs out of health, I don't have to worry about the doors opening and closing constantly. So even though they're making a mad dash for my tank, it's really not a threat. And that does it for the Tomb of Toot and Slamman. And that also gets us a nice little piece of ammo, the BS Cruise Missile, rank 1, which does 26 damage and fires faster than most ammo. And fittingly, the last slime we save in this area is Rocket or CT Slime's, the last of his friends who were kidnapped. It takes a little while, but it completely depends on their, on how many are in my engine room, which enemies they are, how fast they move, and everything. So the next area we unlock is Mount Krakatoa, based off of Mount Krakatoa in Indonesia. I believe the Toad is a reference to Toad in Dragon Quest VIII. So the first thing that we're going to do here is actually finally get our crew. The 3 crew members I select are the only members of the starting crew who can throw ammo. Also, I messed this up. Actually, no, I have all the ammo from letters that I need for now. So I'll upgrade my ammo again, and I'll head off to the next area. Upgrading my ammo is just something I do because I happen to be right there. I only do 1 tank fight in Mount Krakatoa. And this place is kind of odd in this game because it has this really sinister sounding music, which is a little unfitting because everywhere else has had this really upbeat kind of melody to it. This slime right here is one of my favorite names in the game. His name is Mag Max. This area introduces us to 2 newer mechanics, the 1000 weight and the Chimera Wing. 1000 weights cause things to just, causes like a small shockwave to the ground, and Chimera Wings will automatically take things back to town. Like so. Thankfully, Chimera Wings are useful, and I need them for, like, it's a good thing they're useful because I also need them for tank ammo later on in the game, after this area. So I want to head off to this screen, 1, because there's a slime over here, and 2, because I need both a rock bomb and a 1000 weight right now. This guy's name is Crystal Chronicler, nice little reference there. Oh, I did not know that. The Mag Max thing. Send these guys back to town and then take care of the rock that's up here. This will introduce us to bungee cables, which are the absolute worst. And you'll see why in a later part of this area. So I want to carry this 1000 weight with me for the next screen. I'll just check that. And these 2 platypunks tell us that we need to move past this door, but we need to go get the key. So first thing I need to grab is one of these rock bombs. Oh, what? Yeah, that made contact with one of the Wordles, and it ended up just blowing up. I need to destroy this rock here. Thank you. So I go off in here to get a slime as well. At the top corner is a piggy bank. The piggy bank contains a bastard sword, which does 60 damage, but I won't be able to get that in any percent. I get one in 100 slimes, but not in this category, just because it's too hard to go back all the way to Katoda for one item. So the reason I come back here is because I need a imp as well as a rock bomb to go with my 1000 weight. And you might be thinking, why do I need this strange array of objects? And the reason is because I need to get a totem pole that matches this statue to the left here. And this allows us to move on. So I don't need any of these guys anymore, I just chuck them off to the side, grab this chest, and there's also a slime down at the bottom here. Very easy to miss a slime in this area. I've done it in countless runs, so I'm trying my hardest not to forget anything with this run. This is Slivel's theme, so if you hear this, you're probably gonna fight Slivel. I don't know if it's his theme, but you hear it a lot when you see him, so basically it is his theme. So Slivel is supposed to be this cool guy. He does everything by himself, but actually doesn't work in his favor. So first thing I do is I press start to set everybody's tactics. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that Blubba and Gluperior do not have their tactics set to fire. Swatsy I grab and just kind of take with me because I want to keep him from firing ammo for a little while. Unfortunately, he does not have the option to not attack. His only two commands are set to fire out of the top cannon and out of the lower cannon. So I'll just throw him around, and he'll head back to my tank. What I want to get out of Slivel's tank here is I want to grab 3 broadswords, which she has so graciously provided. Slivel is also unique in that I cannot carry him. If I don't throw him immediately after I pick him up, he just causes me to drop him because he's so freaking heavy with that helmet on. So now that everything is clear, I want to set my crew to fire out of the cannons. Slivel will try and come and invade me, but that's not going to work out too well. I do have to be wary of him because he can destroy my tank. I said the wrong person's commands. I do have to be wary of him because he can destroy all 6 of my barriers in one attack and then kill the heart of the tank at once as well. Yeah, I actually really like the soundtrack to this game. I know there's a lot of song quest games, but it's still got some pretty cool tunes. So I just finish him off, and that should be enough between the 2 bombshells and the chest. One of the funny things is we have a crew member named Baron Blubba, and one of my friends who plays this game basically always calls him Tubba Blubba from Paper Mario. and this fight gets us a broadsword, and also a slime, who is one of the most cool slimes in this entire game, in my opinion. His name is Flanpaw, and he's a green Kaiser slime. Not only does he actually give us a pretty useful letter, but he lets us backtrack here really quick, and he's one of the few slimes who just escorts him home. Like, I don't need to carry him. He's just like, I don't have to worry about this. I'm gonna go home myself. So we're gonna detour over here a little bit because there's one last chest on this screen. And this is the screen that makes me hate bungee cords in this game. Okay, we got through this just fine. I've fallen off more times than I can count on this screen, so getting it first try really helps. Responsible Grandpa Slime. So the third new mechanic we'll be introduced to here is the Slime Knight. I can press Y to do an attack with the Slime Knight, which proves very useful in trying to clear things. And yes, I can do that in tank battles as well, which makes these extremely helpful in tank battles. I come over here because it gets me a couple chests, a couple Chimera Wings, and another Slime Knight. The game does give me a tutorial on bungee cords, but it's super annoying trying to angle them sometimes. This game is not canon. Otherwise there would be people in it and they'd probably be murdering the slimes. Which is the precise reason I think, I don't know who it was. It might have been the guy who made it, Yuji Horii, or whatever. I think he said, like, the reason there's no human characters in this game is because they just go around beating up on all the slimes. These are living statues. I have to use a charged Elastoblast in order to kill them, but it's usually faster to just throw Chimera Wings at them. I'd do that later, actually. So I'm not going to fight any more tank battles for a little bit. Wait. Actually, yeah. So I want to grab the iron ball she gave me, the iron ball that Flanpaw here gives me, and then before I can do alchemy, which I'll get to in a bit, I need to get the letter from Prince Bigumi, and I think that's it. Okay. Wait, also there's one other Itzy here. And he gives me a shuriken, which is useful. So to progress in this room, I need to take care of the 3 living statues. And the fastest way to do that is just to chuck Chimera Wings at them. This room has 3 of them for me. So guys, are you ready for the most absolutely stupid boss in this game? It's not to the levels of RNG of other games, but it is super dependent on RNG. So this is Potbelly. And most of his strategy consists of alchemizing stuff with the crackpot and just throwing things around. Chimera Wings are really bad. They take forever to use, so I only store one to do as a last hit. This is health. It's also useless. Firewater is extremely helpful. Ah, shoot. That's... no. It's hard to see where exactly he's throwing things is the worst part of this fight. Well, this has gotten off to an amazing start. This is not going well. Banana peels is bad because I have no control over them. Just chucking them everywhere. So firewaters are good because they can hit him 3 times. I like him to throw rock bombs because then I can just grab like 3 of them if I time it well. Okay, firewater should finish him. There we go. So he doesn't drop any slimes, but he does drop the crackpot, which we need for alchemy. Alchemy lets us fuse ammo into better ammo, pretty much. I don't actually need the money, I just wanted to grab it. So that should put us at 39 slimes, which is enough to, which is on par with our necessary total of 50. On pace, I should say. So now Flanpa here is going to introduce us to alchemy, which thankfully I already have a recipe for. He gives me a recipe for iron shields, but I don't need shields for anything. My route gets me anywhere between 18 and 22 Chimera Wings. I always overdo it a little bit on the chests, but that's just for safety reasons. So I'll make 10 shurikens, which deal 20 damage and fire extremely fast. Although from this point on, I'm basically going to be robbing my enemies for ammo, and that does the majority of damage. Having a good amount of supporting damage is still really helpful. And the screen just kind of glitched there. Oops. And also the final battle I can't invade, so just having the best ammo up is ideal. So I'm gonna take this boomerang out and add an extra Slime Knight, because those are extremely helpful. Yes, Gusto. I sadly will not be saving Mori Mori, unless I have like a lot of bonus time. Just time to kill. I can go and save Mori Mori Slime. Dear bro, I'm in trouble. Come and get me out of here. Alone, you schmo. And so this next area that we've just unlocked is Backwood. The nice thing about Backwood is it's, like, at least for casual plays, is it's basically all tank battles. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but there's actually This theme that plays whenever we encounter the Platypunk mob, or the Plob, just is really catchy. So before we do any of the tank battles, there's one last thing we need to go do over here. Is save this red Drac slime and this red King slime. So this is Chrono Twigger, everybody's favoritely named boss. So I'll do the usual Swatsy. Oops. I'm so used to Swatsy being the top one, because just the order I tend to grab them in. Yes, Rocket is... CT Slime has the most potential of any slime ever. And he's just a generic blue slime, which is the best part. There are two benefits to stealing ammo. One is it tends to be better than my ammo. And two, it means that I'm not taking ammo out of my own tank in order to do damage. It means that my best ammo will still be there to do the most damage. Doesn't look like they have any more broadswords, so I'm just gonna grab another oaken club. Oh, here we go. So once that piece of ammo hits, I'm gonna set my allies to fire ammo. I think I tried that and I had issues doing it. The attacking parallel thing. So the unfortunate thing about enemies getting in my tank is my allies get distracted. So this wave of ammo is going to be enough to finish it off. So this gets us a medicinal orb, which, as you've seen, I just try and get my tank to run out of health as fast as possible, so it's not really that helpful. And so this is the first of the three Goonines. Slime ninjas. And they're the most stereotypically ninjas ever, and this guy's name is Tokyo Tom. His actual Japanese name is just Tommy, which is also kind of amusing. This guy's name is the Pyromaniac. It's not quite as great a name. Oh, so this helps immensely, getting a Slime Knight right off the bat. Ideally, they'll actually come near the entrance and just open their tank up for me. The mechanic this guy is supposed to use is actually spooklier bombs, which look like rock bombs, except they're spooky. And what I mean by that is they don't do too much damage, but they can't be hit by anything other than holy. I want my Slime Knight back. Whoops. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get too much good stuff out of here. I'll leave that actually in their cannon, because I'm gonna be coming back to their cannon in a little bit, to their tank, I should say. Okay, now that everything has made contact, I'm gonna set my allies. And he's finished. I have to be very careful not to knock my own crew into the cannons. And I also have to be careful not to get myself knocked into the cannons, because if I do that, then I'm just gonna lose. Thankfully, they don't have too much health. So one of them snuck back into my engine room. It takes a while for most enemies to take care of my engine, so it's not usually a pressing concern unless it's either Slival or the final boss. Okay, this rock bomb spawning is also really convenient. I'm gonna finish this zombie off first. I need to clear out my tank because I don't want to lose while I'm invading. I'm gonna set below it to keep baddies out. And that actually was the end of that Slime Knight. Slime Knights actually have health, which is kind of annoying. And that finishes that fight off. And it gets us a spooklier bomb, which is not really helpful, because we're never going to be making contact with ammo. I like how this guy starts off all nihilistic, like there is no light, no hope. And this is Gushido, and Gushido is actually going to be our replacement for Swazi after this area. So this last tank is named Carrot Top, which is kind of a comedic name based on a stand-up comedian who I haven't like heard of anything of in a long time, but yeah, there's all kinds of real-world references in this game, as well as like fictional references. Chuck Swatsy. Oh, hey, 3 iron balls. One thing I want to be careful of is that I don't accidentally hit that switch. I have been knocked into it before in what ended up being a very amusing run. Oh, I forgot I said Blubba. It's kind of unfortunate, or kind of annoying trying to remember to set my allies' commands every... So, since it takes them a moment to fire anything, I'm just gonna wait for all this to make contact and then just check everything. It's not uncommon for things to just devolve into this chaotic state in my tank whenever a lot of them come in. Ideally, though, ideally my crew doesn't get super distracted by them. Blubba tends to get defensive, which is kind of his one weakness as a crew member, because he is probably the best crew member in this entire game. I'll just throw him out because I can. And I need one last piece of ammo. It looks like Swatsy's got that covered. And I got hit by a rock bomb, which is unfortunate. So I'm gonna go grab the Slime Knight and then just make a dash for the tank. Ordinarily, the concern with that horn is that they fire it, and it takes a lot to knock it out, and it will basically plug up my engine room, or my cannon room. Like, it actually gets itself stuck in the cannons, so I can't fire for that amount of time, and it does a lot of damage. So whenever me and my friends played this game multiplayer, because I was actually able to get a few people to play this game, which I was super happy about. Whenever we played, we basically soft banned that tank, because just having an additional damage healing source for free is kind of unfair. There was a goodie bag that spawned, if you only see it for like a second. Unfortunately, sometimes you can end up accidentally bouncing into the loading zone or next area, and then you bounce immediately back into the previous one. It happens sometimes, but it's not too big a deal. So Slival decides he wants to rematch, and I say no because I'm mashing the B button. But we need to finish him off here before moving on. So basically every Slival fight proceeds the same. I believe he does get a little bit faster each fight. Not now it is. Not now is it your tank. This is my tank now. The nice thing about the Schwartzman tank is it's kind of linear in its design. See if he has any 3 arrows, because those are the best thing I can get out of his tank. So basically ammo doesn't spawn in this room, and the engine room is not connected to the first room of the tank. Actually, we'll probably try and keep this rock bomb just to break his barriers. So this should be enough damage to finish him off. Oh shoot, that was unfortunate. Thankfully, dropping an enemy doesn't hurt you, but it is still annoying. The other annoying thing that happened here was Blubba got fired out of a cannon, so... It's basically wastes time in their cannon room rather than firing ammo out of mine. Alright, so now we've basically just taken care of Backwoods. And this gets us the second piece of Orichalcum, which I'd completely forgotten you actually get. Okay, that was weird. I kind of went through the hitbox of the chest. So this is Bo, your sister. And the first thing she says here is she starts to wonder where Mom and Dad went. And immediately after that, the Goonies come and tell us, oh hey, we found where your parents are. She offers to say, take me on your adventure. You actually can get her as a crew member a little bit later. I'm not gonna bother doing anything with my tank just yet, because the next area I don't actually do any tank fights in any percent. So we head off to the next area, which is called My Bluff. And yes, they really went there with the title. By the way, I never did ask, does anyone here like puns? So this is the third slime knight I'm gonna use. I only need 3 in my tank, so I'm not gonna grab any more for the rest of the run. So the remaining 5 slimes that we save in this game are going to be in My Bluff. After this area, I only save two more optional slimes. This guy's name is Duke Swellington, and I think he's one of only 2 slimes that make that particular noise when you save them. And he just vanished on me. I think he's a magician. And so this is our parents, Big Daddy and Mamma Mia. And they break these crystals and tell us that, and we still have a few more of those crystals we have to break in order to move on. However, we don't have the power yet to actually break the crystal walls to move on in this game. So Big Daddy tells us we need to undergo a trial to learn the Master Blast, which is strong enough to destroy the crystals. And this is the reason we save 50 slimes, because there's an iron ball at this well over here, normally, that is the Goonies' hideout. And so the Goonies will... Oh, shoot, I didn't know, I forgot that you have to go up to them first. Goonies will do these 3 trials to help us increase our mind, skill, and body. So for this trial, we have to collect wood and throw it into a fire. And everything in this room, except for that rock right there, I believe, can be turned into firewood. So we need to get these last 2 pieces of firewood and we will have completed the trial. So that completes the trial of mind. The next trial is the trial of skill, which ends up being the trial of RNG. So Gushido here will have us try and find the real one, and we have to take care of everyone because they're all logs. He also moves around really fast, which is going to come quite in handy when we actually add him to our crew. Yeah, this is quite annoying. There we go. So that completes the trial of skill, but what will be the trial of body, you might ask? The trial of body is we must find Tokyo Tom. We don't know where he is. So naturally the first thing is to assume it's behind the American flag, but... Haha, it was all a facade. He was actually hiding in the rafters and he could barely stay up there. And so that completes the trial of body. So now we have the power of Master Blast, which is just for story reasons, it's a slightly enhanced Elasto Blast, but it really doesn't change too much. So we're gonna return to call My Bluff, but now that I have all 50 slimes I needed, I'm not gonna be saving any more optional slimes except for 2. And the reason I saved those 2 is because they give me really, really helpful pieces of ammo. And that's gonna be in the final area. It's still an American flag in the Japanese version. The Japanese version is actually a decent amount different in terms of the little things. It plays the same, and it's not really any faster text-wise. The only major difference is the sound effects are, like, for whatever reason, very different. I've tried to see if there was any differences. It may be a little faster on text, but I find this version to be better to stream, and I can't reliably say one version is faster. Plus, like I said, there is that one enemy that is that tells me exactly what he's doing, and that's a little easier to keep track of in English, so it does make English very slightly faster. So, once we've gotten to the top of Call My Bluff, we want to head all the way down to the bottom with this rope. Also, you know, if he wasn't a slime, the rope burn on this right now would be... I can't even imagine how painful. So we don't need those guys anymore. And so we're going to our next boss, who is Harvest Moon. Yes, there's a Harvest Moon pun in this game. And he is RNG. He's very easy to fight, but I want to get good RNG where he doesn't spin the Hell Scythe around as much. We'll go through a random number of cycles where I can hit his little mini scythes back before he starts throwing the Hell Scythe at me. So far we haven't gotten a particularly good pattern. I can also do this hover jump, which this is one of the first areas that it actually is really important. I believe if you time it extremely well, you can hit him twice in one cycle of attacks, but it's very hard to do. Okay, that was a good cycle. After he gets down to about somewhere between halfway and a third, with 2/3 of the way done, he does another attack, which is not doing just yet. It does this. He spawns these little reapers which will try and attack me. Fortunately, I can't deflect them back at him, but they do make the fight a little bit more annoying. So one more attack and he's finished. Alright, we did that just fine. So as a reward, we'll get some money and the Hell Scythe. And so we get Flabbit Flancisco. I didn't need that Slime Knight anyways. I was an accident that I threw it, but I didn't need it anyways. So we'll take the Hell Scythe and Flabbit Francisco back home. Because we have to, and the Hell Scythe is a unique item in this game. It does 40 damage, it takes 2 pieces of ammo to kill it, and if you throw it out of your top tank at about halfway, it comes out of reach. So, one of the nice things about running this game is after this part of the game, we get this cutscene here, and the cutscene plays automatically. I don't have to skip through any text, so I get basically a minute that I can just set my DS down and go to the bathroom. So Big Daddy's over here showing off that he can carry 2 pieces of wood. And then his wife shows him up and carries 3. And the Slamman tank is able to remove the big iron ball that's been stuck in the castle, which is the most adorable castle I've ever seen. Which begs the question of why we don't just get the tank to do all the work anyways. So they're talking about the Dark Dude, Dark Guy, Dark Wonder, and it turns out it's named as the Dark One, and everyone's like, wait, what? And Bo and Tokyo Tom are just all like, hey! So the next area we go to is Lucifer's Necropolis, which is a very sinister sounding name. Before we do that, there's a couple things I need to do. First of which is cancel this because I'm mashing the B button, and that's a little text mistake. Forgive me, I am not worthy of people who speedrun other Dragon Quest games who are like amazing at menuing. So I'm gonna add 2 more Slime Knights, and I believe the next best thing is the Spooklier Bomb. Second thing I want to do is I want to edit my crew. I want to get Swatsy out of here for Gushido. For one, the nice benefit to Gushido is I don't need to keep track of him because he only has 1 command. And that particular command is highly useful at this part of the game. That command being that he can invade enemy tanks and steal ammo. So, what these guys have figured out is that I know how to use these totems, so they decide that they're gonna separate and leave the rock bombs, or they're gonna take the rock bombs away from the imp, and there's only 2 rock bombs in this entire stage. So I need to go to both of these side areas to get them. I go to this one first because I will need that imp later, and I get a little teleporter later on, which I forgot to get one in Tomb of Toot and Slamman, and that cost me a little bit of time. So I haven't really quite shown off the little shortcuts yet, but we'll see those here. So shoutouts to Cruel, the only other person who has a documented run of this game, for finding out that it's actually faster to fully charge an Elastoblast past this part rather than just jumping. Whoops, I don't need you. So this part's faster to jump over. We missed the cycle for the cannon. I suppose I can save this guy while I'm here. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love the look on CT Slime's face when I fire him out of a cannon. So this is the first rock bomb. I'm not actually going to carry it just yet because I need it for something. But I will grab this imp because I have another totem I need to get over on this part of the game, or over in this part of the Necropolis. It skips me from having to go up there to grab an imp. I'll need this Platypunk here, and I'll need a Mimic. So I'm gonna go down here for... It's not worth my time to help that slime. This is a speed run, remember? You know, I'm glad that happened to be it, because I completely forgot what the totem was. I only remember the parts of it, not what order they needed to be in. Actually, nah, that doesn't matter. I do want this imp. I want to get rid of the other two. So this is the correct way to traverse these waterways in order to move on. So now this is where we'll get the second rock bomb. Now that I have the shortcut, I can just get the totem I need. Alright, so now we can move on to fight the one tank battle in this area, and the one boss battle in this area. For a place as sinister sounding as this one, we really don't do a whole lot here. So although we theoretically should be able to enter that barrier there, we have to fight Slival here in order to move on, because thou must. But at least it gives me a chance to show off why I put Gushido in my crew. And the reason why is he can jump straight into their tank. I really can just wait here, but I'm gonna attack the barrier. Huh, I did get that to work. For some reason I've had a hard time trying to get that to work. So he's just gonna rob Slival of a bastard, and I'm gonna attack Slival here. Best thing Slival can drop for me is a metal king sword, that bigger gray sword right there. And now that my tank is free to fire, I can just set my crew members again. I'll see if he has any more real quick. Nope. I have to go catch him, or he can unleash some havoc on my tank. Out of my way, Kushido. Thankfully, he gets very easily distracted. So I'm gonna go rob him one more time. That was actually really good timing. I actually didn't really need to rob him right now, but I will. So I'm gonna grab this Slime Knight here, and then move on to go and finish Slival off. I'm gonna cap by his spawn room just to kind of distract him, because I'm waiting for that health scythe to make impact. There we go. Shido's just kind of over here wondering what to do. Alright, and we get the third Orichalcums, and the second one that I actually forgot that we get. So, and here we'll get the Queen. Her royal wobbliness, which the interesting thing about her is she also walks herself home. So we have to lug the king back home, but she's a strong independent slime who is able to just walk herself home. Or however slimes maneuver. And this guy is Lickety Spit. He's kind of a jerk. I want to throw cacti balls on his tongue. I have actually died in this fight, so I want to take it a little carefully. Thankfully I can catch them when he spits them back out. A perfect cycle there would be if I got all four. About halfway he starts spawning these little vines that grow out of the ground. And those can be pretty annoying. Ideally, I also never get eaten, because if I do, then that costs a bunch of time. Alright, this fight went perfectly. Like, I am very happy with that, that Lickety Spit fight. So we get one of the another member of the royal family. There's several royal like dukes and like children and princes in town. So now that we're finished with Necropolis, the Plob have already found the Dark Flute, and this is the Plob father, Don Claulio, named for Don Corleone from the Godfather movies. And he has one of the princesses on hand, and her name is Gluttonella. If you can't tell by watching her, she is a bottomless pit of food. It's quite appropriate that they made her pink, considering she's very much like Kirby in that sense. So we've unlocked the final area of the game. And even the king knows it. If you read what he says, he's like, it's almost as big as a tank. Almost as big as a tank, is what he says. So we have 3 tank fights we're going to do on this particular setting, so I want to go and edit my ammo one more time. And get those final few rock bombs out of my tank. I still have 1, but I want to add 2 more Slime Knights, and then I'll just add another Spooklier Bomb. I also realized just now that I forgot to open a few letters, so I'm gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna want Swellington and Early Burly. So I'm gonna come back to Boingburg one more time before at least be able to add those for the final 2 fights. So this is sort of a tutorial. We have to save this guy, and he's showing us how things work on this place. They have rocket carts instead of like a regular railway, and these just send things back to town. I love this guy's name, Robo-Blob. I would just like to point out right now that this is actually apart from my little mistakes, this is actually a very solid run so far. I haven't made any, like, major mess-ups. So, obviously, this being a marathon, I'm gonna completely jinx things. So I have to destroy these in order to move on, kind of like in tanks. So I'm gonna send this guy home because he gets me a super valuable piece of ammo. This is a golem, so if you thought being a slime was badass, now we can pilot a golem as a slime. And just punch everything to death. So, if you thought, like, anything else in this game was amazing, if you haven't thought anything else was amazing in this game, at least you get to see me pilot a golem, well, as a slime. So I'm gonna ignore fighting that other golem because we don't actually have to. No, you can't put the golem to sleep. You can throw Chimera Wings at him, and that's the only way to... You can get golems as crew members, although you can only pilot them. That was accidental. I don't need this fang slime. So while we're waiting for that, I am going to get the ammo that I get from the letters from these guys. This is a lightning rod. It's the only piece of ammo you can deal damage to an enemy without actually firing it out of your cannon. And that's because it's designed to where it just, every few seconds, if it's left untouched, it deals 40 damage by striking down the tank that it's in with a lightning bolt. This guy's a bit of a concern because he has living statues, which are annoying as heck to deal with. He also has a tank that can just deflect ammo. That axe will swing periodically and just knock out any piece of ammo that's in the air. Yeah, I don't think that's really any faster than this. I will admit that sadly this game is still in a very developmental stage as a speedrun. I'll leave you to it and I'll take this. This right here is one of the strongest pieces of ammo in the game. The level 3 missile. It does, I think, either 100 or 110 damage. I'm gonna let Gushido pass me because I don't want to accidentally bump into him. That's bad. It's gonna get hit by the axe. The 2 I fired did as well. But we still got 200 damage worth of ammo out of them. So living statues I have to kill by fully charging my Elastoblast, but thankfully they only have 1 health. So I just got a double kill right there. I can also take these guys out by attacking them in such a way. Unfortunately, these knights have a lot of health. Darn, that's like all gonna die. That's unfortunate. I'll just take these. I don't need anything better. Thankfully, living statues are one of the slowest enemies in terms of actually clearing my tank. I believe all of these will hit his tank before it's fully charged. And I really hope I'm right on that. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I'm gonna take these guys out just to make sure they're not a threat. Yeah, this fight is always a little bit worrisome. I believe for this one, the engine is down on this side. It is kind of annoying when you don't know exactly which it is. I've done this run enough times where I'm like, I think it's a top one for the first one that has them, bottom for the next 2. But when I went and did an 100 slime run, I didn't quite know, and it was a nice little waste of time. And this gets us the level 3 Irritable, which is I believe it does either 110 or 130 damage. It's extremely good. It's not as it's really slow like all the other iron balls though, so you have to kind of baby it into getting, like, you have to set up a bunch more ammo to actually get it to hit, and you have to wait quite a long time for it to make contact. And so this introduces us to the killing machine. Which, yeah, there's a lot of enemies in this game that are from like Dragon Quest and Dragon Quest Monsters main series games. But they're kind of silly in this one. Like, Killing Machine is a joke. I would say really invasion strats are not the best if you're actually planning to get a crew that is based on invading the enemy tank. Jinxsters, which appear in this final area, are helpful because they can teleport into their tank, but they don't do a lot of damage. Dancing Flames do a lot, but they have to actually break. Also, I don't know if you saw it, but in this tank's like little flavor text says the revolution is coming. Wee! And its name is DQ Swords. So, I hope there's at least one high spirit sub here, just to post the spirit Wii. So they just unleashed utter chaos into my tank, and unfortunately one of them just got into my tank. So I have to be very careful that it doesn't my engine room. So I'm gonna take anything I can get right now really quickly, and then just make a beeline for my tank. Thankfully I think Blubba is distracting him. I appreciate that. So now I have to be careful because 3 out of my 7 barriers are taken care of. I'll grab this Slime Knight because Slime Knights are useful in so many situations. And I'll go rob him for one more load. So what I did there, I was not originally planning to do, but shoot. I can't afford to dilly-dally here any longer, as long as that killing machine is in my tank. Oh well. It was a bit of a time loss, but it was a risk I had to take. And Gushido picked up the iron ball that I want, the level 3. All is good. Unfortunately, killing machines have the highest max health out of like any enemy in this game, or baddies. And I think the knights do as well. Oh shoot. I was really hoping that didn't end up firing me. Alright, that's enough to finish them. So we're gonna just go and invade them now. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now though, with two slime knights are hilarious. Also, I forgot he only had 3 barriers. No, that was not a pun. And this guy's name is Viscount Viscous, but Viscount is spelled like Viscount, so it's a nice little pun. I'll grab the Slime Knight. I don't really need it though. It'll prove helpful. It's actually fastest to just throw things at these barriers. They blow up one more set of them. All right. Unfortunately, I can't take my Slime Knight onto this next area. Because I need the golem to progress here, and then there's also a barrier that keeps it from going forward. Okay, I don't want to send the golem back. I actually need this golem to progress. Okay, this is going really, really poorly, really quickly. So, the sound the Platypunk makes here is quite amusing. Holy smokes! So we get past him, and then, yeah, Hollow Kitty. Here's what you're looking for. So he has a weird crew of imps, for whatever reason. His main gimmick is he has Kaboomamite, which Kaboomamite are terrible to steal because they blow up 10 seconds after you pick them up. They're useful in certain situations, though. And they're all firing themselves into my tank, which is not good right now. So, I'm gonna go and defend my tank instead. But I will definitely come back for their ammo. then the Slime Knight just murders everything. Optimally, he drops a few Metal King Swords. I can't really use that Kaboomamite right there. So, here's what I want. I'll grab that on my way back in here later. And I have no idea what they're doing. Unless they all took that long to respawn. Okay, they're all like in my tank right now, so... Okay, these Orichalcums will be enough to finish the deal. Well, that arrow that Gushido just threw will as well. So I'm gonna take care of this killing machine to make sure it doesn't do what I don't want it to do. I'll go grab the Slime Knight. So I don't need to worry about them anymore. Oh dang, they had meteorites. That would have been amazing if I got a couple of those. Meteorites deal 90 damage and they're one of the fastest pieces of ammo in the game. They make up the bulk of your ammo if you're doing maxed out tank strats. Which I have neglected to really talk about it too much, but this game has a multiplayer component where up to 4 DSs, but usually you would have 2. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually gonna backtrack to Boingburg. And the reason for that is because there's 2 more tank fights in the area that I need to do. And I want to put in the amazing ammo that I've gotten from the... It takes about a 2-minute backtrack. But it can save plenty of time on those 2 fights. I actually don't need that Chimera Wing either. So, 2 more of those, and I think the best that I have left is the Shurikens. So this is going to be basically the final day of the game. I have 2 more tank fights, and I have to kill a bunch of, and 1 more regular boss, and I have to kill a bunch of killing machines. And when I say a bunch of killing machines, well, you'll see. I literally mean 10 killing machines. This fight is just madness, and I love it. I sent him too far back. This seems to be enough. Slival fight, or Slival theme. In my PV, I had an extremely good Slival fight here, so I'm hoping I get something comparable. Alright, this is gonna help me immensely. So what I'm gonna do with this lightning rod is I'm gonna leave it at his tank's entrance, and it's gonna deal about 160 damage over the course. I was in the wrong position to get past that. I have to be extremely cautious of Slival here because he spawns really fast when I kill him. Okay, I'm not going to be able to rob him of really anything too good. Unless that spawns. Oh, hey, he was right at my entrance. Okay, that takes care of him. I have died on this fight a couple times because I was neglecting to deal with Slival properly. Oh shoot. I also haven't mentioned one other nice little benefit of Gushido that kind of comes into play a couple times. It's not necessarily a guarantee, but sometimes in his path into the enemy tank, he will distract the enemies long enough for me to, like, giving me a little bit of time where I don't have to worry about just taking out the enemy characters. Okay, so Blubba has a full load. Like right here, he's kind of actually chasing after Gushido, and he stopped. So I'm going to just take Slival out here, and I'm going to camp his spawn point at in his tank. That's enough to get me into his engine room. Alright, so this is basically the end of my crew. I won't be using them for anything more for the rest. But they did pretty well this run. Yes, you can spawn camp in this game, and it's pretty hilarious. So, after this fight, we're gonna initiate the final battles. This guy's name is Count Calories. I would just also like to say, reiterate, I should say, this has been an actually really solid run. My PB for this category is 243.46, and I have a very, very good chance of beating that right now. So Gluttonella is upset that the Dawn doesn't have any more food for her, and so she runs off, and he's at this point is just like, I don't care. And you can tell his rank because he has 6 tails. And the first half of his strategy is just wait for him to become full. All he's doing is this attack, which is slower than his other one. Okay, this is not the fastest attack he does. Holy Claudioni. I have to say, the localization team did a pretty good job with this game. So now he turns into a fire-breathing dragon. Thankfully, we can hit him while he's rotating around. So it makes this phase of the fight pretty simple. One more hit. There we go. Really quick fight. Final boss is a straight up platypus gangster. Well, not really. The final regular boss. Because Gluttonella has found the Dark Flute. And yeah, that's really bad because now Lucifer has possessed Leone. And yeah, there's kind of nothing we can do right now. His tank is insane. And yeah, our tanks just don't stand a chance against it. So what are 2 slimes to do? Fortunately, we happen to fall right into Mount Krakatoda, which if you think the Crackpot has powerful alchemy, yeah, this is gonna be some crazy cutscene power right here. Ding, time's up. And so it alchemized the 2 tanks that we dropped into it. Yes, Fusion Ha. Also, look at the top screen. It's kind of small, but this is like my favorite face in the entire game. And now we have the Slamman tank. Which why? Because that makes total sense. So this final tank battle, we have Slivel as a crew member. This tank battle is a giant pain because the final boss can kill my tank in 1 shot. What I'm gonna do with Slivel is I'm gonna do the same thing I've done with... Hold on to him to keep him from firing. And I'm gonna look around my tank to see if I have any lightning bolts anywhere. I'm also gonna grab this Slime Knight. I was going to. Thankfully, it starts at 1,000 health. I'm gonna toss this over there to grab for later. Our tank starts at 1,000 health. We want it to deplete as always. I think this guy can do that very quickly. So I'm just gonna take any ammo I have and toss it in my engine room. Make it a little quicker to get to. Ideally, I'd get a lightning rod to spawn at some point. And the reason for that is I can deal damage with a lightning rod without actually firing it out of my cannon. So it's basically guaranteed. No lightning rods. This fight takes 10 minutes, and it's basically a crapshoot, hoping that the boss doesn't ever get... Or it's not a crapshoot, I can defend, but it's really annoying trying to defend. And I also can't invade. So I'm gonna unleash Slival on the ammo that I have built up. And I'm gonna fight Flucifer out here. He takes about 8 hits, and I need him to stay as far away from my engine room. And yes, you get to hear the overture a lot for this fight, because this fight takes about 10 minutes. Not that I'm complaining, because I like this song a lot. So this is good. We get 2 Slime Knights this time. You actually can hit Lucifer twice while waiting for this to go into effect. I'll let Slival throw that out. And Slival got the lightning rod, which is good because you can still fire the lightning rod and it will still work just as intended. So as you can see here, I can actually hit him multiple times per cycle as long as I have 2 Slime Knights. I'll leave that one out here for now. I'm glad I got to this Kaboomite first. So I just got 3 hits on him, which is really helpful. And this fight is also the reason we've stockpiled so much ammo. Because you would think, like, why would I invade? Why would I get better ammo if I can just invade? That Slime Knight ran out of health. Okay, that's bad. I was hoping that the Irritable wouldn't hit before then. Slival's gonna be wasting ammo here, which is unfortunate. I can't go and stop him because I need to distract Flucifer here. That laser, you can actually get it to stop from firing. It do about it. So I'm gonna hold on to Slival for now. Once it fires, it'll be back to normal. Thankfully, that Hell Scythe flew right over it. So yeah, that does a lot of damage. I won't lie, the final boss is sadly the worst part of the speedrun. but I think that seems to be a common thing in Dragon Quest. Okay, darn, he got into my tank. Oh, I finished him. Okay. Okay, I don't know what Slivel's doing right now. I'm gonna hold on to this lightning rod for now. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna chuck it straight into his tank. So slowly that'll whittle his health down. Alright, so get ready on time, because we time this game for the final hit of his tank. I'll actually time it myself on my computer. Sadly this game doesn't have a credits for any percent. We only get that in 100 slimes, and the credits are great, so I won't be able to play them, but I'll be able to play the ending cutscene. Ah, shoot. So time is when I hit the heart, end time. Okay. So on my timer, that is 2:37:20. So it's a little delayed on stream. Alright, so that world record by 6 minutes. So right now we kind of get the story of why he was after the Dark Flute. Turns out the big bad didn't want any sort of dark power. He just wanted to get the Warrior Flute to impress some idle chick. And now she changes what she wants. She wants Dulmagus underpants. Thanks.
Hey, very nice run.
I was saying it got actually really good RNG and really good execution. So my goal time for it for a while was 2:40 or better. So 2:37 I'm very happy with. Yep.
You did it live.
Yep, world record by 6 minutes and 26 seconds. And so we're the hero of Slimania. So ordinarily the credits would play for 100 slime, but I have to save every slime in order to get the credits to play. It was kind of a community decision, and by community I mean like one thread on SDA. So Tonic, do you need me to kill any time, or are you all set up for the race? Because we have a little bit of extra time, there is one slime I would like to go and save.
Yeah, go for it.
Anyways, we reached sort of a small community decision to just time it from start to finish with more of an like what Americans do as an RTA timing, and split any percent and 100 slimes into different. Basically completing the game, the credits just don't play. Alright, I'm gonna save one last slime. I probably should have gotten the shortcut if I was thinking of doing this earlier. So, shoutouts for one last pun. Yeah, the only way to truly get a run from console power onto the end screen is an all slimes run. We made a small community decision to divide it into an 80% and a 100 slime category. I picked this one because 100 slimes mostly consist of just saving extra slimes, a bunch of tank fights which are kind of slow, and there's a lot of backtracking to areas that you should have backtracked to earlier, but you don't backtrack to till the end because you just have way better ammo at that point. Well, I'm gonna try and here. Oh, looks like Yoshida was KO'd. Whoops. I'll go grab the lightning rods they're chucking into my tank. I find 100 slimes not quite as fun to route or watch. And plus, when I submitted this, I hadn't quite done an 100 slime run or Alright, so let's go finish this up properly. Simultaneous tank destruction. Yeah, that was the wrong way. Alright, say hello to our friend.
Thank you.
Passion and gusto. It's actually a little faster to just let your tank die rather than just to invade them and just distract them. Alright, so with that brings us to the end of this run. Wanted to say thank you very much everybody for watching. Thanks for Tonic for accepting this and hosting this and everything. Up next is going to be a 7-person Dragon Quest 1 race as the finale to the Dragon Quest RTA Marathon number 2. So... Alright.
Yep, we're good. Alright, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Great run. World
Our run went way better than I thought it was going to go, so I'm pretty happy.
Alright, so I'm going to be switching off, and so you can leave the channel whenever you're ready.